Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, sublime, magnificent individual you. Today, I would like to speak about heart, or the middleman, or soul/spirit, soul with spirit active, as a foundational center. That means everything you do, everything you experience, everything you reflect upon, in the end comes from the heart. If we do cut out of our heart and emotions, our intellect alone will dry up and kill any kind of spiritual forces that might allow for healing and true understanding in the moment. Without heart, your will impulses also will only accommodate our body, what our body constantly wants, what our body constantly longs for and thrives for, more or less. But when you have heart, when you let the heart be your leader, the Christ, the moral, everything you think and everything you will is in alignment with what is true, good, beautiful, and moral. Of course, this is what we strive towards and aspire to be in an autonomous way. But it requires us to practice and to actively and consciously choose this and do this every day. When you do, you slowly but surely change your behavior. You change your everyday, day-to-day way you would react, act, reflect, understand, and think about life. Now, thinking is fully conscious. We have our conscious activity within our head. But when it comes to feeling, we can only understand feeling through the concepts of our intellect. So we can indirectly understand feeling. But when it comes to the will, now that requires us to work from the top down, from thought to feeling to action. And that is why we need to, change our own disposition, unfold our own potential, strive towards becoming stronger, more comprehensive, compassionate, and non-judgmental in areas where we are not fully capable of doing so, because it is not always in our place to put an understanding to something when we truly do not see the whole picture. So instead, if you absolutely must have an opinion or a judgment on certain things, one should have studied every single circumstance around it. That was just an example. But by holding heart in the center, you know that every kind of ugly action you do is a blow to your heart. It feels painful because it was ugly. It was an ugly action. But when you do something that is supportive, that is inspiring, uplifting, and accommodating and complementing towards others' strengths and their path, that is a beautiful action. That is a beautiful moral action. You have moral beauty and aesthetic beauty. The aesthetic beauty is when you observe something, an action. It is action of either a beautiful kind or an ugly kind. With moral beauty, when you observe an action, you feel its ugliness and feel its beauty. So it is different. You can observe something as beautiful and you can feel something as beautiful. So that is the difference between aesthetic beauty and moral beauty. The aesthetic beauty, it comes from the lower Devakan, but moral beauty comes directly from the highest level of Devakan, of spirit land, of the highest beings, the beings of all love. Of course, for us to even reach such stages, we need to purify, ennoble, uplift, and enliven our own inner being again to love. the love that the Christ introduced to us, the capability of truly see any individual as an equal, even if it was from another country, culture, blood tie, doesn't truly matter. You truly find that love, that middle ground anywhere, anytime, because of freedom of choice. Instead of uniting in hatred, instead of uniting in dislikes and love each other because we dislike something, we unite in love because we love. It is a huge difference. And that also includes putting aside petty differences to be able to understand one another. Because in the end, a lot of times, things we disagree upon, things we more or less become hostile towards each other about, is petty stuff. It is things that can reconcile with each other through a concrete, objective, and also an understanding way of seeing every single part of this development as striving towards a whole, with different stages of development, with different ways of doing things, because they have different focuses. Far away in the future, these things will be but a memory, a remnant of the past, like history, like ancient Roman times. So it is important to know that things are transitory in the physical. In far, far, far flung eons, we are not going to be physical anymore. All the physical will fall away, will rot away, ebb away, and we will be purely spiritual, having been reborn from the physical material and become fully conscious in our spiritual development and existence. And that requires lifetimes upon lifetimes of development. And the development is here on earth. So every action we do is for this earth, to not run away from earth believing we come from anywhere else. We have been here since the earth's beginning, and every single thing you see around us is karma from every single one of us. So none here are karma free and comes from another place. We all are belonging here on earth. And every action and misaction brings good result, healing to the future world, or destruction to the future world. And it is a freedom of choice in the end. So what do you cultivate within yourself? What do you find out for yourself? What love, what compassion, what morality is? And through your thinking, when you master your thinking and infuse it with heart, with life, with love, you bring color again to the world. You emanate, you pulsate out a certain color, a certain individual tinge of the divine. And that you should not hide away, like many, many do. We are not meant to be the same. We are not meant to fit in many different groups. You know you're meant to become a global earth individual being that understands any group, that can fit in any group, because you are a human being. And you, as a human being, a spirit of freedom and love, are capable of becoming and exploring and understanding so many varieties of areas of life. And for you to be able to cultivate it, strengthen it, polish it, study, become stronger, which is, I guarantee you, fully possible. The more you become a human being. We are not fully human being yet, we are aspiring human beings. But we are now living side by side with subhuman forces that does not have physical forms, but they use human forms to walk with. They have more or less capitulated their body, given their body to lower beings to operate in this world. And you fully know that is the case. You know the darkest depravity mankind is capable of. And that is not because of human being, that is because subhuman behaviors and willpower, will forces, will impulses shoots up to the conscious in sleeping and more or less dazed people. It is understandable because life is difficult, life is extremely hard to maneuver in, but it is to hold that strength, hold that love, no matter the pain you see. Because without that love, we become united in hatred, remember. And that is fighting, that's pouring gasoline on a fire to try to douse it. Fighting fire with fire, sending demon against demon. It will not bode well for any sides. Turning the other cheek is a reason he said it. It eliminates karma. It eliminates the karmic. You absorb it, you take it, and then you transform it. That was an extreme example. Of course, it is for every individual to do what they should do in those moments. But you get my drift here. It is to not create even more karma, pain, struggling, and conflict. And that is what we strive and try to hold as a standard. So, I thank everyone. I will leave it with this today. May Father, Holy Spirit, Christ, Michael, ancient masters of old, ancestors from every incarnation, bless, protect, guide, and love you on your amazing, beautiful, unique, and sublime path to your individuality in inclusion to the whole, to this earth. And may you be safe and provided for. Love you. Thank you. Goodbye.